Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Monday morning call. We used to call this a Monday morning chat, but then we just kept hearing miracle stories, so we changed it to the Monday morning miracle story call. So we get together on Monday mornings to share stories about this amazing technology, and we invite you to be very brief and share your story. And we also invite you to
Comments so
meet
that
the
you don't
first.
take anything to the
Oops,
hospital or the doctors.
Okay. And and we want to give a special warm welcome for any of you that are brand new. So we always love welcoming you. And this is a time where we share stories and ask questions about product. This is a product focused call. We don't name any diseases. We just talk symptoms. And we invite you, when you're sharing your story, to share what it was like before. If you had a limitation, like it was hard walking up and down the stairs, and now you can run up and down, whatever it may be. So what it was like before, then what you used, and then now what you can do. And we really, because we have so many new people, we want to have the first 10, 15 minutes of the call be X39 stories, because X39 is the star of the show. And it is the vast majority of the company sales. It is the most comprehensive of all the patches that we have. When I started, and we recommend most everyone start with just X39 for the first 60 to 90 days. I did 90 days before I started using any of the other patches. And we really recommend, especially, if you're serious about building a business, you want to keep it really simple and easy to duplicate. And that patch does so much. So,
and I do want to add, and that's affordable for, most people, which right now people are watching their budgets more than ever before. And some of us have been involved for months or years, use multiple patches because we're now starting to generate income, which offset the expense of using multiple patches. But, for the cost of a cup of coffee a day, to activate your stem cells, to activate the copper peptide, which does so many other things, including activating stem cells, is such a blessing for everyone. So again, one of the reasons we've been so successful is we have maintained a single product focus in a multi-product company. And just a little company history, just so you know, when we joined about 4 years ago, LifeWave was doing about $2 million a month. Nice little, sleepy, technology wellness company. And with the birth of X39, which by God's grace, we were fortunate to get in right at the birth. And we've rode this wave of excitement that we've now grown 15 times. We're now doing about $30 million a month. So in 4 years, we've gone 15 times in size. Not very many companies can boast that. And about 70% of our sales is X39. So that's a clue. So because we have so many people joining us, as Robin said, on our Monday morning miracle calls, we like to say it, we're going to start a kind of a policy. I don't want to call it a policy, but
guidelines.
Guidelines that we want to keep the initial focus for about our first 10 or 15 minutes on X39 stories, because, there's so many of us have so many wonderful stories with some of the other products, but I just think we want to honor the new folks coming in. And just like Robin, for the first, we didn't know, I won't say we didn't know there was other patches, but we didn't try the other patches.
All right.
So with that said, if you'd like to raise your hand, and that's the process we go through, down at the bottom, you can, in the reaction section, there's a place where you can raise your hand. So if you're new, you could raise your hand, and we'll call on you to bring you on to share a short X39 story. And we'll start with Heidi.
Good morning. Good morning. Coming to you as a 52-year-old, having been on the X39 on my neck and my appendicitis scar since February 22nd, 2022. I had my first full night's sleep on February 22nd. I wore it at night, and I am now 1 year into having new dreams. There's a difference between having nightmares and not having nightmares to 1 year later having full-on wonderful dreams. And I'm a single gal. That's all I have to say.
Woo,
Oh,
thank you,
Heidi, that was beautifully modeled, beautifully. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dear. And I'm so happy because when we have deep dreams, it means we're getting deep sleep, which
Mhm,
is the restorative sleep.
mhm.
So that's
And
so
if you want to
beautiful.
see my chin scar, it's almost gone from when I was 9 years old. That's when the trauma began. It's almost gone.
Whoa, that's crazy.
That's
Yes, I looked
wonderful.
at my scar in the middle of my, I have a 9-inch vertical scar. And I could barely see it. It's amazing. Okay, Christine, you're next.
Good morning.
And
I
good morning.
started the X39 a couple of months ago, and one of the most dramatic changes is I was, since my 30s, I was getting a reaction when I would do too much or maybe take in the wrong amount of uh, things, food, types of food, and I would get outbreaks, and I don't get those anymore.
All right.
Really great. And then I think I'm starting to add 2 more hours. I was usually sleeping 6 hours a night, 5 to 6 hours a night, and I added 2 hours. So
Wow,
Beautiful.
that's so
pretty
wonderful.
amazing for me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christine. And, it's so wonderful that, sleep is really, really important. And that's when our body regenerates. And David has figured out why so many people are getting really deep, restful, regenerative sleep. So X39 does many, many things. So thank you. Thank you. Okay, I think Jerry's next. Just
Hi,
put your
good morning,
hand up.
everybody.
Good morning.
Wanted to stick to X39, and there's so many stories. The one I want to bring up this morning is Saturday. My dad turned 96. He's been on the patches for 1 year,
Oh,
and
no.
he's had a lot of X39 goodies. But one is that he was a welder, and his face was all scarred. He has no more scars.
Oh, my gosh.
Whoa, do you have any before and after pictures, Jerry?
I
Oh,
don't
my
have any
God.
before. That's the thing. Didn't even
Oh,
think
my
of it.
God. Oh, my gosh.
He
That's so wonderful.
probably has pictures from before. Of-
I probably should look for some, but the thing about it is, at 96, when his stem cells
Wow.
started declining, how many years ago was that?
Yeah, right.
Several.
Woohoo.
That's fabulous. Oh, thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for sharing that.
That is so great.
And I want to say when the patch first came out, David wasn't sure that it would work for anyone over 70 because that's when our stem cells aren't so active anymore. And he was elated to hear people's 70s, 80s, 90s. I don't think we've reached someone over 100 yet that I know of, but we're getting there. So it's,
Yeah.
it's never too late. Thank you. Thank you. I
Right.
think Kent, you're next, and then Tina.
Hello.
Good morning.
Well, hi. Well, my story is a little unique in that I had no health issues. I haven't been sick since I was 10 years old. I've been blessed. And I was a world-class athlete as a kid, and I always stayed in shape. But I was one of those people that put on X39. And as a matter of fact, you'll see this picture here. There's a little patch right there, hard to see.
Oh,
But the day that I wore it to the gym, because I'm kind of a gym rat, I was stunned by the energy and the enhanced success I had because I've been working out my whole life, so I know what my limitations are. And all of a sudden, the weight was lighter, the endurance was longer. It was pretty incredible, and now I've advanced to using also 49. But the bottom line is that my health has been incredible, and my muscle growth has been spectacular. And what's interesting is your comment about age. I'd like to ask you all to guess. I won't, but I'm 77, and
Woo-hoo! You rock.
and I
You
and
rock.
I'm
Yes.
and
Look at
I'm
that.
and I'm ripped. So the fact is that obviously at any age, one of the things that I do, especially with older people, I coach a lot of older people to help them, but is make them realize that they can raise the bar. And the other thing, by the way, this is I no longer, obviously I do right now for the computer, but I don't wear glasses anymore. And the way that happened was I take them off when I'm at the gym, and I'm about 10 miles from the gym. And one day, about a month into, maybe 6 weeks into X39, I left the gym and I was halfway home and realized I hadn't put my glasses back on. And I was seeing clear as a bell, and I could actually read the license plate, 2 cars in front of me. And I went, wow, I guess I don't need these anymore. And if I put on my regular glasses, if you will, not computer glasses, they're obviously not right for me. I have to take them off immediately because it hurts my head. So that's been amazing. And the other side of being an athlete is, although I've never been sick, I've been in every ER in the West Coast, and I had a lot of injuries. I'm an extreme athlete, and I've got scars from surgeries. I've torn both calves. I've torn my Achilles tendon. I'm a mountain biker, so I've got some pretty good ones in other places. The point is, all those scars are going away. I had a 21 stitches right across here that I got while working in the oil fields of Wyoming, all gone completely. So that same thing, the scars are going away. And the last thing I'll mention was, I was almost upset about it, that my sleep changed dramatically. And the reason I say I was upset is I would wake up at 5:30 in the morning, which was a little earlier than I really wanted to get up. But what I learned very quickly was, don't fight it. I rolled over the first few times and come out, I can go back to sleep, and I didn't. I realized that if I get up, because my sleep was so restful and deep, I'm absolutely refreshed and ready to rock. So no reason not to get up early. And so it's literally added a few days of productive time to my days, because I do get up extra early and yet never have a problem with energy. It runs all the way through 10 o'clock at night. I'm still rocking. So anyway, there you go.
Well,
It's
wow, wow,
amazing.
wow.
That's awesome.
That's fabulous.
Kat, thank you for sharing. And that reminds me, about a year into Robin and us using X39, she's in the living room. She goes, I can read the newspaper without my glasses on.
Yeah, that's a wonderful. I sure don't miss them. I'll bet you don't miss yours either.
Thanks so much
great.
for sharing. That was great. Great share. Go ahead, Tina. You're muted, Tina. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, there you go.
Okay. I've been using X39 for about 2.5 years. Earlier this month, I turned 82 years old. I went to a party last night in the neighborhood and met people I hadn't met before, and they were floored to learn that I was 82 years old. And I've had that happen about 3 times in the last couple of months. So go X39.
All
That's
right.
so awesome, Tina.
You're looking fabulous.
Looking good, girl. Okay, so John, you're next.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, my story, Kent's story is very inspiring. I love it. And mine is kind of similar in a lot of ways. In fact, I don't need these. And so what I'm thinking about talking about here is my golf game. I've been playing for 63 years, and I've never had more motivation to practice. And I get pretty intense practices every morning in my just swinging the club in the morning. And I've noticed that they're getting easier and easier as I get harder and harder on the work and get more and more motivated. And I've already gained about 10 to 15 yards in my golf game. So it's
Wow.
X39 and the X49 combination is amazing. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, there's a market there, John.
Yes.
John, I'll
Golfers,
just
if you can
add,
add to a little distance. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
something that you know too, John, because you're adding the 2, which I discovered, which is a very big deal. My workouts are really intense and really, huge. But what's interesting is, normally if I had a workout like that, I would really feel it the next day. No pain, no aches, no nothing. I'm 100% ready to rock the next day. Amazing how it does that.
Woohoo.
That's great. One of the people who live fairly close to Sacramento is Steph Curry. And I've been fortunate enough to know some people who know him. I don't know him myself, but I hear that his workouts are absolutely intense after he puts his kids to sleep after 10 o'clock at night. and they're very intense. And that was very inspiring. Not only your story, Kent, but Steph Curry's is when he does his workouts, they're very intense. And I'm thinking my workouts are almost, getting to that point mentally, but as far as physically too. So, we got to get him some X39, see what happens to him.
Go.
Great,
That's
great.
awesome.
Thanks, guys. That was wonderful. I think Lynette, you're next.
I'm going to unmute myself, even though I am just out of the shower. I have not been on these calls before, so I'm not sure what's okay and what isn't, but I wanted to get advice on which patches to use for somebody. Is that something I can do on this call?
Sure. Go for it.
So I have a neighbor who has something, well, I guess we're not supposed to use names, but a condition that tightens the muscles in her neck to the point that she's like really super stiff and contorted, and then also has a tremor. I believe that she's told me that it starts in the brain somewhere. It's a neurological thing. So I'm wondering if anybody would think that maybe the brain protocol would be the place to start, or if there's something else maybe comes to mind.
Okay. Well, thank you and welcome to the call, Lynette. Yeah, this is a call where we share stories and ask questions about products. And we start the call with just X39 for the first, 15 minutes, and it's after that time. So perfect timing.
And most people start with X39. Heard so many stories of people all of a sudden they can look both ways, that they were kind of frozen. So X39 works wonderfully for that. And I'll let Robin continue, but I just wanted to mention that it's
Yeah.
very common results we hear with people with X39 is neck and shoulder arm mobility.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you put it right on the spot.
Mhm.
Okay.
The beauty
Okay.
of X39 is as soon as it's 3 inches from your body, it instantly goes systemically throughout your whole energy system. And you
Right.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so if it is a neurologically based challenge, the brain balancing protocol is a really good idea to give it
Okay.
a try. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
And
right.
great to have you here.
Thanks.
I want to give a quick testimonial while Max is here. You can see him up above us. About a year and a half, Max was on the way out. We took him in for remedial care at the vet. They kept him overnight. They flushed his kidney.
Kidneys.
Yeah, and they just said he's an old cat. He's 16 and a half years old. He's not going to last much longer. So we brought him home and started patching him. And he's 18 and going strong. It's
Yeah.
like Max is back, and only X39. And it seems like dogs and cats respond better and faster than people sometimes.
Yeah. He was living on our bed, sleeping 24/7.
Yeah,
And he's out and about mousing and everything. He's got quite a voice.
yeah.
Okay, we got a whole bunch more people. Let's go. Thanks, Lynette. Let's go to Jerry.
Since you mentioned, Robin, that David was wondering about age, I figured I'd give you a couple more about my 96-year-old dad.
Oh,
He
nice.
he called me one time, like about last February, March, when summer was going to be coming. And he says he was going to be so embarrassed to put short sleeve shirts on. He says, you should see how smooth my skin is. And he says, I'm rubbing it up and down. He says, it's not crinkly anymore. So that was one. And then another one was that he says, does this stuff grow hair? And I says, well, yeah, well, he says, well, I only had to shave every 3 days. Now I have to shave every day.
Wow.
At
His
90
face
At 96.
At 96, yeah.
Oh my gosh. How
And then
exciting.
his balance has improved a lot more too. So, thank
His
you.
balance has improved too.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. And, it can keep getting better and better. We give people hope. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you, Jerry. Inspiring. Okay, Christy Grace, you're next. Unmute your line, please.
Oh, hey, you guys. Good morning, everyone from. Oh, hey, you guys. Good morning, everyone from. Oh, hey, you guys. Good morning, everyone from. Oh, hey.
Well, we got that one. Well, we got that one. Not sure why.
Why
that's
do you think
happening.
that's doing that?
I don't
Why do you
know.
think that's doing that?
Why don't you call back in? And we'll
Yeah.
get back.
Hey,
to
do
you.
you have, this up on 2 devices?
There, it stopped.
She
Okay.
muted herself, that's why. If she'll get that feedback if she's running it on 2 devices at once.
Yeah, Christy, you must be on 2 devices because you're not unmuted on your video, but maybe did you have your phone and your computer running? If so, that's the problem. Yeah, we can't hear
We can't
you.
hear you.
Yeah. Not hearing you. So sorry. While you're working to fix that,
Let's
Um,
move to Pamela and we'll come back to you, Christy. Okay, great. And if you have 2 devices on, turn one off, okay? Great. Okay, Pamela.
I just wanted to report about my husband. When we talked about it the last time I was on, it was about his hand, and he felt that he slept on it wrong. And he said, I don't have any strength in my hand. He's not really a believer. So I actually did do the X39, and there was a suggestion of putting energy patches on as well. And I did, and he did do well. So he was like letting me patch him like every day.
that's great.
So that was really great. Because of that, I have a friend that's 92, and she had a problem with her hand. So she's now willing to try the X39.
And that's the reason stories are so important.
Yes.
And that's why we share here, because it gives everyone else, oh my gosh, I know someone else who has something similar. I want to make sure I reach out to them. So thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.
Okay, Christy Grace, we'll try again, see if it works. Can you hear us? Christy?
Where am I?
There, we can hear you now.
There it is.
Okay, it's
Yes.
working. Good, go ahead.
You can talk now.
Christy, can you hear us? Huh. Now we can hear you and you can't hear us.
No.
Well, Kame, hold on a second. Let's just go ahead and good morning.
Good morning. I wanted to address Lynette's share about the trimmers.
Yes.
My family has had trimmers for years and years, and I noticed after 4 months that my trimmers are like 90% gone. My hand is very steady.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Are very steady. And, I use a lot of patches, but I believe that the X39 has done it, because my sister, who's 90, has tremors much more severely than I. And so she'll put the X39 on her hand, and it helps reduce the tremors.
Mm-hmm.
And her daughter, who has the more severe tremors, does the same thing, and it reduces the shaking of her hand. But where would I find the brain protocol?
Great question. It's in it's in a few places, but you can find it into the patching protocols in Live Younger Success, and you can go to Live Younger Products and open up the menu, and there's patching protocols in there too, and you'll see it.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Christy Grace, want to try one more time?
Sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yay!
Yay. Thank you for being patient with me.
Welcome.
It's worth
As
it.
you can see, I have my Alavita still on my head because it's like I'm Pacific Standard Time. And anyway, I wanted to, I think this is the first time I've ever officially given a testimonial. I've been on the X39 now for 2.5 years.
Hmm.
And I was very fortunate to start on it. Admittedly, I was on some other patches, but the one that I've been the most consistent with has been the X39. And I was in the middle of, I was at the tail end at that point, the last year of a 6-year, very rigorous 3 to 4 dental surgeries for jawbone reconstruction that was very depleting and toxic for my, like traumatic for my system, as well as and then I had a few years before that complicated it with two concussions. So I actually had vertigo and constant twitching, and along with the dental surgeries, chronic TMJ, joint pain, inflammation, broken sleep, and really hardly any energy. And I'm a high energy gal. So, I mean, I think you can kind of tell now. And I'm also a professional singer. So I was, for the first time in my life, I had panic attack. I tried to go on stage. Well, not tried to, I went on stage and experienced panic attack, which I'd never had ever, especially in public. I always loved being on stage. So that was a real, so it was a very, it was a life-changing period, really challenging. It was the X39. I'm also a breath coach. So what that means is I very much, as a singer, I've now used it for therapeutic reasons. So I would say that the combination, but particularly the combination of oxygenating my blood and everything, of course, is a consistent practice. But I'd honestly say it was the X39 that was a game changer on every level. And I wasn't on it for 2 weeks because I ran out and I was waiting, and it was like, oh my God, where's my X39? Because it changes my clarity of thought. So now I'm back to performing, back to it's been a year. It's been a full year out that I have, for the first time in a decade, I had not had any dental. My last dental check-in, which was before Christmas in November, he was like, congratulations, Christy Grace, you have, you pink gums, perfect, like whatever it is you're doing, like stick with it, because this is, so it's huge for me. No more dental expenses, no more sort of worrying about that aspect of things, and really just now working on other strengthening, and having my brain back. Incredible.
Congratulations.
That's so
Christy Grace.
amazing.
That's so
We're so
awesome.
happy for you. I remember when we first met and you were going through so much, my dear. Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. That's huge. Well, I just want to address a few things. First, I want to thank you, Ravel. She put the link for the brain balancing protocol in the chat. So thank you, Ravel. And Casey, the eye issue, you can reach out to Darlene Clayholtz, and it was her husband that had that big change. So you can reach out to Darlene and she'd be happy to share her story with you. And now it's time for a sun shower.
Morning, everybody. We're fortunate today to have two guests on. One is a preferred customer of mine, and her name is Margie Chappelle. And she's not going to be speaking today. She's just here listening. Hope to see her at our Sedona event and meet you guys. And also we have Daenerys Morales, who's a new brand partner under Dan Boyle. And I've asked her if she can unmute. Her area code is 5352. And the last three numbers are 073 if you need to unmute her. So Daenerys, can you ask your questions now?
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me right?
Yes, we can.
Oh, that's awesome. My reception here is not that good, so I'm gonna try my best. So yes, I've been in the patches for the last, I want to say 3 weeks, almost a month. I've been battling chronic pain for over, 12 years probably, left hip. I noticed the change like very, very quickly within the first day. I felt that pain just started to subside. I also used to have a lot of headaches, and that also helped me a lot. So I'm just like super happy and very excited to share this with everybody I can. And then one of my questions was, my boyfriend is also using the patches, and he forgets to take them take them out sometimes. They just leave it for 24 hours. It's like, oh my God, I forget. And we just were wondering if what's the if there's any contraindications of doing that, or if it's going to be okay. That was basically my questions. And we also have, my other question was around, we actually own a business in Sedona, and we do frequency work, and we actually have a client that came last week, and she lost all of her hair. She's very young, she's probably in her 30s, and we just wanted to see if there's somebody have any experience with the X39 patches to deal with that issue.
Sure. Well, let me address wearing it 24 hours instead of 12. No adverse effect. The reason we only wear it for 12 hours on, 12 hours off, because we don't want the body to get used to it or attenuate to the frequency, because its response will diminish. If I'm always tapping Robin, she's going to forget that I'm tapping. It's like living next to a train track, but if I stop and I tap her again, she goes, what? So if somebody wears it for 24 hours, take a break for 24 hours. Don't put it on the next day. If you wake up in the morning, oh, I forgot my X39 on all day, all night, take it off, go without it for that day and put one on the next morning. That's what I do when I do that. Sometimes I forget to. So as far as the hair growth, who would like to address the hair growth? Because I know that the 39 and 49 will have an impact on that.
Gregory, I can raise my hand for that one.
Okay, Heidi, go ahead.
So when I met Gregory, I had dyed hair in Orlando, and I had started X39 February 22nd, but I added Alavita 3 months later. That was my first patch that I started using at night. And my hairdresser had to cut my hair, not at 4 weeks, but at 2.5 weeks. Wow. And I have short hair. So you can see every 2.5 weeks, I would have to get my hair groomed.
I love it. And David talks about, stem cells in the hair follicles.
Mm-hmm.
And so as those get enhanced, guess what? Hair growth. For some people, we never make any promises, but we've heard many, many stories. And Connie, our beloved salon owner, hairdresser, she sees it all the time. And everyone's different. So again, we don't make promises.
Okay, well, we are a little bit past the bottom of the hour, and this was so great. It's so good to hear all of these wonderful X39 stories, because that's the driver, and the quickest path to success is leading with that single product. But in certain circumstances, there may be a crisis condition that someone's in you where you add the second product sooner. But for the most part, we have the most success with people just using X39 for the first 30, 60, or 90 days. And then once they've had a wonderful experience, they kind of just naturally say, what else you got?
And having more stem cells is going to have everything else work better. And also by just staying focused with X39, you get your X39 story. You know what X39 is doing.
Sunshower, you still have your hand up. Did you want to
No,
conclude any?
sorry.
Okay, we're all good. Okay, well, I think we'll bring this call to a
Let's
close.
talk about tonight and tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Tonight, we're going to talk about one of our subjects for tonight is going to be the whole concept of building for events. And Sunshower, you're helping to host a Sedona event, and we have an event in Prescott. Then we have a big event in Scottsdale about 4 weeks from now that there's only 400 seats and about 200 are already spoken for. So I'd kind of like to challenge all of you. Who do you know in the greater Phoenix area or anywhere in Arizona? And let them know we're going to have a major regional presentation and training. David Schmidt won't be there in person, but he's doing a video transmission for us. So we're going to have a personalized message for us from David Schmidt there on the big screen. And I just want to encourage everyone to pull out your graduating class, high school, college, friends, and who do you know in that area? Because we'd love to fill those seats with your friends and family.
And we know people are actually flying in from Colorado, from Arizona, from Texas, from California.
Yep.
And this event is has a lot of leadership showing up when you see the flyer that's in the Facebook group and in the newsletter. So we've got amazing people to meet, and we're going to have some wonderful community time afterward to hang out and get to know each other even better. So, and then tomorrow night is our LifeWave introduction. It's the introduction to the company and the star of the show, X39. And our healthcare practitioner tomorrow night is Anne Moreau. So we're always thrilled to have Anne. And last week we did kind of a special event. It was a little different because Gregory had a new presentation to share with you. So it was a special evening, and we're getting back to our regular events. So tomorrow night, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific. And is that it for
I
now?
think that's it for now. So if you'd like to unmute and say farewell, happy day, happy Monday.
I want to say thank you for doing such a great
Monday.
job.
Great job,
Yeah,
everyone.
beautiful shares.
Yes.
Thanks for the time here. And I've loved
Great
it.
call.
Glad I was able to make
Great
it.
meeting, everybody.
Bless. Have a great day, everybody.
Linda
Bye.
Adams.
Thanks,
everybody.
Have a lovely day. Have a lovely day.
Monday.
Have a great week.
Linda
high hopes
Addington,
for
go to
Hair
Young
Fair.
Success to get your registration link.
Okay, thank you, Heidi. I was
Scottsdale.
wondering how to register for Scottsdale.
Live Younger Success will give you the link to the
Got it.
Scottsdale event.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Free registration.
Great call,
We're
everybody.
Heidi,
moving there to Arizona.
Bye.
Your story is super
It's
inspiring.
also
Heidi.
on Facebook group.
Facebook
Live
has the
Younger.
link as well.
Bye, Facebook.
Have a good day, Gail.
Thanks,
Thanks, Gregory. Bye, Robin. Woohoo.
Bye.
It was great. Who is right? Toodles.
Bye.